Okay, so application shimming, also known as Windows Application Compatibility Infrastructure, that was created by Microsoft for backward compatibility of software. As you know, operating system code base changes over time, and Microsoft tries to keep backward compatibility for many years, and they are actually pretty good at that. So application shimming was developed to help the software providers create some platform which will allow them to preserve the compatibility with the past software. So, for example, let's say that you have an application that was created for Windows XP, and using Shims, it will still work on Windows 10 without a need to rewrite the code. So it's really cool. App shims used to be very powerful. You could, for example, hook address table in the process. You could inject DLLs into the process. You can even patch the application code, like the running in the process on the fly with app shims. So it was really cool. Nowadays, most of these features or options were stripped off from app shims, especially if we talk about 64-bit applications. But there are still a few interesting options left for 32-bit options. So let's create a shim which will inject a DLL into a specific application. So we go to Application Compatibility Toolkit on a desktop. And let's go to 32-bit option, because, as I said, 64-bit is not that powerful. Let's run CMD here, and by default, not every option is enabled, but so we have to run it from command line with X option, and we get a simple application which allows you to create a shims. So let's try to create one. And since we are dealing with 32-bit shims, so we have to target 32-bit application. And as we are talking about persistence, so we will target BG info again. So let's create a new application fix. You can name it however you want. So let's call it just BG info. Vendor is Microsoft. Now we have to point where the application lives. Okay, click next. We can skip this. We have the complete compatibility mode, so you can just pick specific compatibility mode, and you should be good. But we are actually interested in injecting a DLL, so we are selecting this. We need to set it parameters, and we have to point it to our DLL. And for that, we actually need to compile a new DLL. So let's go to Visual Studio and go to our RTO persistence implant, and there is a implant DLL.cpp. So let's compile that. Okay, so this is our path, and the name is implant.dll. So we can paste it here, implant DLL. Okay, next we can set some additional things here, settings. but we just click finish. Now let's save it. Let's call it bginfo, and let's save it somewhere. Permissions, admin, bginfo sdb. Yes. And now we have to install it. You can do this from the command line. And to do that, we need admin privileges. So high integrity level session. So we go to RTO persistence 02. And we use a command line tool called sdb inst, and we give it a name of bginfo sdb. And that's it. So now if we run, let me start up Process Hacker. Now if we run bginfo or relogin, whatever, but we can just run it, it should actually start our, and let me quickly suspend the process. Oh, not that one. And let's go to modules. And here's our implant.dll running. And as from that process list, you can also figure it out, right? So that's really simple way to install the persistence. If you want to remove, so let me unfreeze that. If you want to remove your shim, you run the same thing, sdb with -u and the name of the shim database. Actually, it's actually here, so we need to -u, and the shim is gone. So now if you run bginfo again, it shouldn't produce any effect. All right, so that was application shimming and DLL injection.